We got to turn the lights on.
Raise your voice, Reverend. Raise your voice.
Good job.
Thank you.
Raise your voice. Come on, Reverend. Let's pray.
Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. And let the church say, amen.
Amen.
Come on,
John chapter 10, verse 10. Reads this reading from the New Revised Standard Version. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. Again, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. For this brief sermonic journey, would you join me in indulging in the subject in upgrade?
Yeah.
In upgrade. Hi, my name is David, and I love to text. I prefer to text. Sometimes it seems like I only text. I like to text so much, I'm the type of person who will look at someone calling my phone. Wait till the phone stops ringing, and then text them, hello. Because I like to text. I like to text so much, I recently checked my last phone bill, which billed me for September 1st to October 1st. And to my surprise, during that month alone, Dr. Lomax, I sent and received a total of 7,067 text messages. For those of you who don't know, that's 1,766 text messages a week. That's 255 text messages a day. That's roughly 10 text messages an hour. I like to text. Based on that understanding, you should be able to understand how I felt on last Tuesday when I realized something was wrong with my text messages. I felt hurt. I felt lost. I did not know what to do because something was wrong with my text messaging. It got so bad to the point where I picked up the phone and called somebody to see get it? My text messages. I texted several times a day. Have you been getting my text messages? It's interesting, their response was this: I've received your text message, but David, have you received my messages? At that moment, although I was sending out text messages, I didn't have the capacity to receive text messages.
Yeah.
So like any person who grew up like I grew up, I did everything possible. I tried every trick in the book in order to restore my text messaging. I turned the phone off, Dr. Lomax, and turned it back on, but that did not work. I turned the phone off, and then I waited for 5 minutes, turned it back on, but that did not work. Then I turned the phone off, took the phone apart, took the battery out, waited 5 minutes, put it back in, turned the phone on, and guess what? That did not work.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is David. And I like to text. So Tuesday, as I drove home from class, dismayed to the fact that I could not send and receive text messages, I called someone who knew my phone a little bit better than I did. I called AT&T customer service, and on the line, after asking a few cordial questions to make sure I was who I said I was, the customer service agent said, "Mr. Kennebrew, how can I help you?" I said, "Thank you, Katie. This is how you can help me. My name is David, and I like to text. But for the last 24 hours, I cannot send or receive text messages." Katie said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Kennebrew, that seems to be an inconvenience to you, and I apologize for it." She says, "Mr. Kennebrew, there are a series of questions I would like to ask you." The first question she asked me, "Mr. Kennebrew, if you look in the top left-hand corner of your screen display, what does it say?" I said, "It does not say anything." Katie said, "It does not read AT&T." I said, "No, Katie, it doesn't." She says, "If you look at the right corner of your screen, Mr. Kennebrew, does your screen read 4G or does it say H+?" I said, "Katie, it reads H+." She says, "One more thing, Mr. Kennebrew, this is what I need you to do. I need you to go into your settings, go to the selection that says About Phone, and tell me what it says. Does it read 4.2.016? I said, "No, Katie, it doesn't. It reads 2.10.6. And she says, "Mr. Kennebrew, based on what the situation looks like,
Come on.
you are in need of a software upgrade."
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
For the sake of time, I would like to push that a little bit further, but I won't. But I think on a holier, higher, and heavier level, as we look at our community, I believe God looks down on us and looks at the community in which we live in and said we are in need of an upgrade. As God looks down on the church in which we have been those who are supposed to take care of the church, he says based on what it looks like, you are in need of an upgrade. I believe when God even looks down on the ITC and he says based on what it looks like, you are in need of an upgrade.
Amen.
So I say, "Katie, how can I get this upgrade?" She says, "Here it is, Mr. Kennebrew. You must attach your phone to a source that's connected to the internet. Once you're connected to the internet, you can then download the upgrade." I said, "Okay, I'll do that. Thank you for your services." I hung up the phone, sped to my laptop, and I connected my phone to my laptop. I'm getting ready to do the upgrade, but I realized before my laptop can upgrade my phone, I must first download new software to my laptop. So now I'm trying to download new software to my laptop, but then an error message occurred to me, Isom, because the message said, "You do not have enough space. You do not have enough space to hold that which is going to upgrade your phone." And I thought about that thing, so then I went through the picture section on my computer, and I began to delete old pictures and old memories. Then I went to the documents on my computer, and I began to delete old documents, things that I used to think, things that I used to write about, and I deleted it off my computer. My brothers and my sister today, in our text on today, Jesus is talking to the Jews at Jerusalem. And I believe Jesus is saying, may I use the words of Beyonce, "Let me upgrade you." Jesus is saying, the reason I've come here, so that I can upgrade you. My whole purpose of my ministry is that I can upgrade to be able to upgrade you. But Jesus said they are thieves, and they only come to steal, kill, and destroy. Jesus said there are those who portray themselves to be an available upgrade source for the community, but no, their mission is to steal, kill, and destroy. Jesus says there are thieves who pose themselves as preachers, but who are more worried about not what preachers of LA does to the black church, but are worried more about the check they will receive to allow them to buy big cars. Jesus says there are thieves who come to steal, kill, and destroy. Jesus says there are thieves who sit on his executive board who does not have the time to listen to the cares and the concerns of the students of the ITC, but are more worried about how they can benefit from the position. They are thieves that have come to steal, kill, and destroy. But Jesus says the distinction is,
what's the distinction?
but I have come.
Yes, sir.
Jesus makes it known to the people that there's a reason for my existence. There is a reason why I've come. And I've come that they may have life and have it more abundantly. May I pause before I venture further into the text and ask you, why have you come? When you stand before your people on Sundays, standing behind the sacred desk, I wonder, why have you come? When you go out into the community, I wonder, why have you come? When you came and enrolled into the ITC, I wonder, why have you come? But can I press the question a little bit further? Has anybody benefited from you showing up? Here is my mother, Mary Kennebrew. She grew up with 8 brothers and sisters. She grew up in an area outside of Jackson, Mississippi, where not only did her immediate family live, but her grandmother lived to the right. Her aunt lived to the left. So she grew up around a lot of people. Then after marrying my father, they moved to New Orleans, Louisiana, and they started their own family. And there she had 5 bundles of joy. So all my mother's life, she's always been around a lot of people.
Yes, sir.
But time has gone on and her 5 bundles of joy have grown up and moved out of the house. But my father now at the age, because of his ministry, he travels quite a bit. So whenever I find out my father is gone, I call my mother to see how she's doing. When I call my mother to see how she's doing, there's something different about her voice. My mother seems down a little bit because something is wrong. My mother says, I've been shopping all day because I didn't want to come home to an empty house. My mother calls random friends and takes them to dinner so she won't have to go home to an empty house. But several days later, I can call her back. And then my mother's voice sounded like it had some kind of joy and happiness in it. She's elated. I said, Mother, what's wrong? She says, nothing wrong, baby, because your daddy has come back. I wonder that whenever you show up, does anybody get happy that you showed up? Has anybody been better? Your ministry has shown up. Has anybody grown because your perspective has shown up? Has anybody got better because your presence has shown up? As I jump back into the text, Jesus says, I have come that they may have life and have it more abundantly. I have enjoyed my journey here at the ITC because it has stretched and challenged my own personal theology. It has caused me to be open-minded. Professor Ahmad, may I lean on you for a second? Comments and questions and discussions with you has stretched me a whole lot. And because of that, I now look at the text a little differently. Because now as I look at the text, Jesus is saying, I have come that you might have life more abundantly. But I now know, because my elevated consciousness, Dr. Lomax, that Jesus is not just my Savior. Jesus is also my role model and my mentor and the person I shall model myself after. Amen. But not only that, I can replace Jesus with myself. My mama probably wouldn't like that, so that's why she won't see the video. I can replace Jesus Jesus with myself. I can interject my own body and my own personal experience in the text. So not only did Jesus come, but I declare that I have come.
Yes, sir.
That they may have life and have it more abundantly. How can I be an agent of the upgrade? Can we go back to Katie and what Katie told me? Katie said in order to upgrade the community or upgrade my cell phone, it had to be connected to a source that was connected to the internet. So how can I upgrade the community, the church, and the academy? See, the community, the church, and the academy must be connected to a source that's connected to a higher power. So how can I be the agent of upgrade? How can the community, the church, and the academy connect to me and be upgraded? Here it is. I must have a supernatural download of the Spirit. I must download something of higher power. But watch this. The reason most people can't become a agent of upgrade is because there's no room on the hard drive. So, in order for me to download something supernaturally, I have to get rid of some old stuff. I have to get rid of old theology, old embedded theology. I have to get rid of what my grandmother would say, stanky, thank you. I have to get rid of my own personal preferences so that I will have room to download something supernatural so that the church, the community, and the academy can connect to me so that I can upgrade.
Amen.
But I've been challenged, Carrie, so I have to look at the text deeper. See, confession is this. This is the third sermon I wrote on this one text.
All right.
And on this morning, I realized that there's a four-letter word in verse 10 that I skipped over. This word is the word they. Jesus says, I've come that they.
Come on. Yeah.
I've read this text wrong. I apologize for going over my time. I read the text wrong. Jesus says they.
Finish it, Doc.
He's not referring to my embedded Sunday school theology tells me when he says they, he's referring to the Christians. He's referring to individuals who show up on Sunday. He's referring to individuals who pay their 10%. My old embedded theology said he's referring to the people who've walked down the aisle and made prayer the confession of faith. He's referring to them. But I had to read the text again because Jesus here says, I've come that they may have life. And he says it in the midst of him describing himself as the good shepherd. And the good shepherd, he says, protects, provides, and is willing to lay down his life for his sheep. But I can't stop there because if I read the text further, verse 14, Jesus says, my sheep know me. I know my sheep. But then he says, there are sheep who are not in this fold. But I have to get them also.
That's right.
So when I now read this text, that word they cannot just mean those who call themselves Christians.
My Lord, yeah.
That word they now means Jesus' ministry on earth was for all humanity.
Yeah.
Whether you called him Christ or you called him prophet, Jesus' ministry was for you.
Yes, sir.
Whether you consider him not the Messiah or if he's just an average man with a great message, Jesus' ministry was for you.
Yes,
whether you're a homosexual or heterosexual, Jesus' ministry was for you. I leave with this. Confession is good for the soul, bad for the reputation. Dr. Scriven, 2 or 3 months ago, I started receiving messages to my cell phone. The messages said, there's an upgrade available. But see, I was content with how my phone worked. So I didn't try to get the upgrade. Come on. It was not until my situation got worse and it began to affect me personally that I wanted to get the upgrade. But I'm here to tell you today, we serve a God who specializes And because he specializes in upgrade, he sent me here today to let you know there's an upgrade available. Regardless of the condition of the community, regardless of the condition of the church, regardless of the condition of the academy, there is an upgrade available. My challenge to you today is, can you upgrade anybody? Amen.
Amen.
All right, so what was the point of the sermon?
I don't know, you're such a good preacher, you just get lost.
I'll be honest, Doc, don't lie.
Ready to get my life to Christ.
I'm taking myself with
That we need to be the source that other people can come to for an upgrade, which means we got to be connected to the source.
Right. And not limit our source of power just to the folk in the church, but to humans.
Humankind.
They, yeah.
All right. Postmodern issue I was addressing the sermon.
That's what
That's kind of what
I
I
struggled with that one.
Did you really?
No,
Yeah.
no.
I struggled with
I mean, just the way you read the text.
Those postmodern
terms, but not a theological. I actually kind of got lost on that area because when he was talking about the upgrade with the cell phone and the upgrade with everything else, it's kind of like I kind of got lost because I'm going to be honest, that right there distracted from me because I couldn't see what the postmodern issue was that he was discussing.
Wow.
I'm going to be honest.
Okay, so Jimmy.
He dealt with how Jesus is for humanity. And I think that's what postmodern era is all about. That Jesus is not limited to certain people, but to humanity. And he dealt with people's different viewpoints on Jesus, the prophet and the Messiah, and all these different terms that people have for Jesus. And I thought that was postmodern.
Right.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
When he said that I can replace Jesus in the text.
That was postmodern.
Yes.
Isn't that, okay, you just answered it, because I was understanding postmodernity to be where it was not an external source.
Right.
That you need, it was an internal source. And so when he
So
got
that was the theological answer.
Right.
Okay,
What was the postmodern issue?
okay.
I'm going to tell you what it was, in my judgment. Texting.
That's what?
Because it's not just a thought, it is also behavior. We're talking about postmodernity. Remember those papers about postmodern, what? Thoughts and behavior.
Yeah.
We're talking about postmodern behavior, texting.
Yeah, and that's what
I thought you talking about something.
Well, he did. That's what we're talking about. He becomes the incarnation.
Yeah.
That's the theological answer to that issue.
Right.
See, he actually mixed, it's a hybrid issue. He mixed modernity with postmodernity. In the sense that he used the notion of an incarnational reality. Him being a little Christ, if you will. And you fixed it pretty well theologically, I thought. Where he said, he said, I will be the Jesus for you in this situation. You don't need to go find him. I'm going to be the Jesus for you. Then he talked about himself as the upgrade.
Laying down.
So he blended modernity with postmodernity in that, theologically. And what he was suggesting, in my judgment, was that Jesus had done it for his generation also. Okay.
Right. And that's exactly what I was thinking when he got to that point. Like you said, when he fixed it and saying that he was taking on the role of Jesus and saying that I'm not here to kill, steal, and destroy, but I'm here to do just what Jesus did. So I'm taking the place right now for your eyesight, for your belief, so that you can see that I'm more than just that. That God and that Jesus is actually alive in me.
This is how he said it. I wrote it down. That we must become the supernatural. We must receive the supernatural download of the Spirit. I said, you know what? That's too much for one preacher. Well, that's too much for one preacher to chew on, so some other preachers need to chew on that. But it is, you know, I thought it was a brilliant combination of the two.
Yeah.
Because you can catch everybody with that. Now, you might have a problem until you say that part, right? Because when I wrote down when you first said it was talking about being the image of God or incarnational reality. So the word Christian means what? Christ-like.
Christ-like, yeah.
So I mean, you still on good, solid territory, footing, but when you said that, you kind of sealed the deal, really, theologically.
He did it with a postmodern. He used postmodern language. He used the same
Right.
thing, but it's
That's
approached it in a
correct.
postmodern,
Exactly right.
postmodern way.
That's right. As suggested, I think you did suggest that we could all do this. It's not just the preacher.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so did the preacher use